Hey friends, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host Mark Guido, and we're in the Sacramento mountains of southern New Mexico, high up at around 9,000 feet, right outside of the town of Cloudcroft. On this episode, we're going to explore the outdoor recreation and camping opportunities surrounding Cloudcroft, and also pay a visit to White Sands National Monument, right outside of the nearby town of Alamogordo. So stay tuned. So before we get underway, we want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Dashlane. We'd like to send a huge thank you to Dashlane for helping to support Grand Adventure. We'll tell you more about Dashlane later on in this video. But for now, let's get started. Cloudcroft is a 15-hour drive from Salt Lake City, so we split the drive in two by stopping midway in Farmington, New Mexico, where we spent the night in the brand new Brown Springs Campground. Opened this year by the BLM, this is a splendid 10-site dry campground right on the outskirts of town. All sites feature gravel pads, a covered pavilion, fire pit, concrete patio, and a grill. Our site included what we deemed to be a fenced yard, bounded on one side by an attractive retaining wall and the other by a split rail fence. Best of all, overnight camping here is free. Just call the BLM Farmington field office for a free camping permit. Given that our alternative was the Farmington Wally World, we were thrilled with Brown Springs Campground. After crossing what seemed like endless empty desert, we're finally beginning our lengthy climb into the Sacramento mountains. Cloudcroft sits at an elevation of 8,668 feet, over 4,300 feet above the Tularosa Basin of the Chihuahuan Desert below. In the 1890s, the El Paso and Northeastern Railroad arrived in the newly founded town of Alamogordo. Needing a steady supply of timber to continue to the mining towns further north, a railroad survey crew climbed into the Sacramento mountains to determine the feasibility of extending a line up the summit to harvest the forests. The crew reported that not only was it possible, but the area could attract visitors. The name Cloudcroft, a pasture for the clouds, was suggested, and work on the Alamogordo and Sacramento Mountain Railway soon began. The logging industry surrounding Cloudcroft boomed, as the railroad was used to carry spruce and fir timber down to sawmills in Alamogordo. Favorable newspaper reports, though, quickly made Cloudcroft a popular tourism destination as well, a place to escape the desert heat, much like we're doing today. With the advent of the automobile, the Alamogordo and Sacramento Mountain Railway was abandoned after only half a century. The Lodge was built in Cloudcroft around the turn of the century, and has hosted numerous famous guests including Julie Garland, Clark Gable, and Pancho Villa. In the 1930s, it was managed by Conrad Hilton, of Hilton Hotels fame. Even at this southerly latitude, at this elevation, it's actually possible to ski in winter. Ski Cloudcroft is the second southernmost ski area in the U.S., only behind Mount Lemmon near Tucson. We're boondocking for the week along a forest road in the Lincoln National Forest, about 2 miles south of the village of Cloudcroft. This has been an incredibly comfortable spot for us. We're in a peaceful forest, yet the amenities of Cloudcroft are only 2 miles away, along with a Verizon cell tower necessary for us to work during our visit. While it's in the 90s down in Alamogordo, high temperatures are in the mid-60s up here. There are hiking trails galore throughout the Lincoln National Forest. These locals turned out to be our only neighbors. For those adverse to boondocking, there are several other options available in the mountains around Cloudcroft. There are numerous Forest Service dry campgrounds, although many of them are already closed for the season during our mid-September visit. There are also a number of small, privately run, full hookup RV parks scattered throughout these hills. Down below the Sacramento Mountains, in the Tularosa Basin, the U.S. tested the world's first nuclear explosion in the Trinity test of 1945. In addition to the city of Alamogordo, an epicenter of space research, it's also home to Holloman Air Force Base and White Sands National Monument. The National Monument comprises the southern part of a 275 square mile field of white sand dunes, composed of gypsum crystals. The gypsum dune field is the largest of its kind on Earth. Designated a national monument by President Herbert Hoover in 1933, popular activities at White Sands include hiking, horseback riding, picnicking, backcountry tent camping, and, yes, sledding.
I thought you were
Now, we told you earlier that we'd share a little bit more information about our video sponsor, Dashlane. Dashlane is a desktop and mobile app designed to make your digital life simple and safer. It includes a password manager and digital wallet, dark web monitoring, and a VPN with Country Select for safe and private web browsing, especially while you're using public Wi-Fi on the road in RV parks. And it's all in one package. Dashlane automatically monitors your accounts and alerts you when an account is breached. You can store encrypted files like your passport and other important documents, making them accessible everywhere yet secure. It works across all devices and platforms. Even if someone somehow hacked Dashlane, your account information needs to be decrypted on your own device. So that's like breaking into a bank but being unable to open any of the vaults. Not even Dashlane has the keys. Now, we've been using Dashlane while traveling across the western U.S., and when we first signed up, Dashlane automatically imported all 975 of our existing passwords, so we didn't have to enter each one manually. Try Dashlane Premium free for 30 days by clicking on the link in the video description below, and then get 10% off Dashlane Premium if you decide to upgrade using my code GRANDADVENTURE. So we really hope that you've enjoyed coming along with us to Cloudcroft, New Mexico, in nearby White Sands National Monument. We put out new outdoor travel adventure videos each and every Wednesday. So if you're not yet a Grand Adventurer, now's the time. Hit that little red subscribe button down there in the corner and ring that notification bell. And we would be honored if you share Grand Adventure with your friends, family, and on social media. Now, after each video, we always love to hear from you in the comment section down below. And also down below, we'd be really honored. It's extremely important to us if you gave us a big thumbs up if you liked this video. Until next week, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.